For thousands of years, people have been sharing spine-chilling stories that make you question what's real. Whether it's a tale scribbled on ancient pottery or modern-day ghost hunting videos on YouTube, the fascination with apparitions, demons, and goblins continues to intrigue people today. Sure, science can't explain them, but these eerie accounts have a way of sticking around. Here's a look at 15 of the most unbelievable hauntings that no one can completely explain. Number 15. 1200 BC Ghost Story from Egypt. More than 3,000 years ago, an Egyptian ghost shared its sorrowful tale, preserved on pieces of broken pottery and later translated by Egyptologist Gaston Maspero in 1915. The ghost, possibly tied to Luxor, ancient Thebes, lamented to a high priest, saying, "I grew, and I did not see the rays of the sun. I did not breathe the air, but darkness was before me every day, and no one came to find me." Maspero believed the spirit was pretty distressed over something that happened to his tomb, while the exact reason remains unclear, just like any other mystery. This story isn't just eerie. It's a glimpse into how much ancient Egyptians valued the afterlife. They created intricate burial rituals and even wrote the Book of the Dead to guide souls through the challenges of death. This ghost's words, echoing across millennia, remind us how deeply humans have longed for peace after death and feared what might come if it was denied. Number 14. The Ghost of Tupo. Tupo, an ancient Chinese ghost, was not one to rest in peace. Before his death, Tupo served as a minister to Emperor Hsuan from 827 to 783 BC, but a disagreement led to his execution, despite warnings that Tupo would return for revenge. And revenge he did. 3 years later, in 783 BC, Emperor Swan was struck down by an arrow, reportedly fired by an apparition resembling Tupo, in full view of feudal lords. This chilling account was documented by Chinese philosopher Mo Tzu, who preserved the tale of Tupo's wrath. Such stories demonstrate the ancient Chinese belief in the spirit world's ability to intervene in human affairs. Tomb guardians, like the winged figures now displayed in museums, were often placed near the deceased to ward off vengeful spirits like Tupo. His story endures as a stark reminder of how actions in life, even those of emperors, could have dire consequences in death. China and the Chinese are pretty obsessed with ghosts. Just take the prime example of a hungry ghost, aka Ergui. Number 13. Chained Man in Ancient Athens. Roman Senator Pliny the Younger shared a spine-tingling ghost story set in ancient Athens that has stood the test of time. A large house in the city was plagued by terrifying noises at night, described as the clashing of iron chains. Soon after, the ghost of an old, emaciated man with a long beard would appear, rattling his shackles. The house became infamous and abandoned by its owners until a philosopher, Athenodorus, decided to confront the specter. The ghost led him to a specific spot before vanishing. The next morning, workers unearthed a chained skeleton from that exact location. After the bones received a proper burial, the hauntings ceased. Pliny's tale underscores the ancient belief in restless spirits and the importance of honoring the dead. To this day, it's a haunting reminder of how unresolved histories can linger, sometimes literally. Number 12. The Boarded-Up Bathhouse. Plutarch's ghostly tale from the Greek city of Chaeronea is a tragic one. A boy named Damon caught the unwanted attention of a Roman commander. Rejecting his advances, Damon assembled his friends and killed the commander and several Roman soldiers. The city council sentenced Damon and his friends to death, sparking a dark cycle of revenge. Damon retaliated by killing the council members and fleeing to the countryside. Eventually, he returned, only to be murdered in the town's bathhouse. For years afterward, locals reported eerie sights and unsettling groans from the bathhouse. To contain the haunting, the doors were bricked up, and the building remains sealed to this day. This story reflects the ancient Greek belief in spirits tied to places of great violence or injustice. It's a chilling reminder that unresolved conflicts, both mortal and spiritual, leave a lingering presence that even walls can't entirely shut out. Now, let's move to number 11, the Tower of London. The Tower of London is as famous for its ghosts as it is for its history. This 900-year-old fortress has seen countless executions, betrayals, and tragedies, and according to many, the spirits of its past residents haven't left. One of the most infamous ghosts is Arabella Stuart, cousin of King James I. After defying the king by marrying without his permission, Arabella was imprisoned in the Queen's house, where her ghost is said to still linger. But human spirits aren't the only hauntings here. In the Martin Tower, a guard reportedly dropped dead after encountering a spectral bear. The tower was once a royal menagerie, housing exotic animals, so perhaps some of them never left either. With its dark past and chilling tales, the tower remains a magnet for ghost hunters and history buffs alike. Whether or not you believe in ghosts, one thing's for sure: this ancient site holds plenty of secrets. Number 10. The Ghost of the Stanley Hotel. The Stanley Hotel in Estes Park, Colorado, was built over a century ago as a luxurious retreat for the wealthy. Over time, its grandeur faded, and by the 1970s, it was in disrepair. Then came Stephen King. After an eerie night's stay, King was inspired to write The Shining, transforming Stanley into a paranormal icon. Today, visitors flock to this mountain getaway, drawn as much by its ghostly reputation as its cinematic fame. Reports of strange occurrences abound. In 2016, Texas resident Henry Yao visited the hotel and took a photo of its iconic staircase. To his surprise, the image revealed a shadowy figure standing on the steps, though no one had been there. That same night, Yao fell mysteriously ill, prompting some paranormal experts to theorize the ghost was drawing energy to manifest. While Yao remains skeptical, his story is just one of many that make the Stanley Hotel a hub for thrill seekers and ghost hunters alike. Number 9. The Whaley House Hauntings. Dubbed America's Most Haunted House, the Whaley House in San Diego, California, has a chilling past. Built in 1856 by Thomas Whaley, the home sits on land that once hosted public executions. Among the condemned was Yankee Jim Robinson, who was hanged for stealing a boat. Some believe Yankee Jim never left. Thomas Whaley himself reported heavy footsteps echoing through the house, attributing them to Robinson's restless spirit. Visitors claim to hear grunts, smell cigar smoke, or even see Whaley at the top of the stairs. Other strange occurrences include the scent of lavender, thought to be Whaley's wife's perfume, and the playful presence of ghostly pets brushing against their legs or licking them. The house's haunted reputation has been bolstered by paranormal investigations, including one where an EVP captured a voice saying, "No," in response to a question. Even skeptics leave the Whaley House unsettled, as the unexplained seems woven into its very walls. Number 8. The Hauntings at the Lizzy Borden House. In 1892, Fall River, Massachusetts became infamous for the brutal axe murders of Andrew and Abby Borden. Though Lizzy Borden, their daughter, was acquitted, she remains forever tied to the crime. The Borden home, now a bed and breakfast, draws visitors eager to explore its dark history and perhaps encounter its ghosts. Guests report hearing laughter, footsteps, and objects mysteriously moving. Tour guide Suzanne St. John recalls finding toys scattered in an unused room and witnessing a picture slide across the floor. On one eerie anniversary of the murders, she and colleagues felt sharp pains in their left eyes, the same spot as Andrew Borden's fatal wound. Perhaps the most chilling tale involves a guest's phone ringing during a tour. When she answered, she said, "It's my mom," only to reveal her mother had passed away 2 years prior. Whether it's Lizzy, her parents, or something else, the Barden house remains an unnerving testament to the unresolved. Number 7. The Ghost of Captain Joseph White. Salem, Massachusetts, famous for its witch trials, holds other dark secrets, like the murder of Captain Joseph White. In 1830, the wealthy merchant was bludgeoned to death in his bed, a crime driven by greed. Joseph and Francis Knapp, alongside Richard Crowninshield, conspired to kill White, hoping to inherit his fortune. The gruesome crime shocked the nation and inspired Edgar Allan Poe's The Telltale Heart. Today, the Gardner Pingree house where White lived is said to be haunted by his restless spirit. Tourists often capture shadowy figures in the windows and stairways, even though the house is unoccupied. Locals believe White's ghost protects his hidden treasures or seeks justice for his untimely death. Tour guide Giovanni Alabiso describes the house as absolutely active, with mysterious sightings fueling Salem's reputation for the paranormal. Number 6. The Phantom Ambulance Lights. In the 1990s, Robert, a paramedic in a small Texas town, experienced a chilling encounter during a late-night call. He and his partner were responding to a rural home where a woman was experiencing chest pains. Navigating the dark, unlit roads with only a map to guide them, they mistakenly pulled into the wrong driveway. Realizing their error, they turned off the ambulance lights and found the correct location. Strangely, upon arrival, they remembered treating the woman's husband at the same address a month earlier. He had suffered cardiac arrest and passed away. Joking about medical coincidences, they began treating the woman, who fortunately was stable. Then came the shock. As they wheeled the patient outside, they saw the ambulance illuminated with every possible light. Strobes, floodlights, and even interior lights, all inexplicably turned on. Neither Robert nor his partner had activated them, as they'd shut off the lights earlier. Their only explanation? The woman's late husband makes his presence known in his own mysterious way. Number 5. Aokigahara Woods. Nestled at the foot of Mount Fuji, Japan's Aokigahara Woods is as beautiful as it is haunting. Often called the Sea of Trees, this dense forest has a darker nickname, the Suicide Forest. Over the years, it has become a tragic hotspot for those seeking to end their lives. Authorities have even placed signs throughout the area urging visitors to reconsider and seek help. The forest's eerie reputation doesn't stop there. Numerous ghost stories have emerged, claiming the woods are haunted by the restless spirits of those who passed away there. Visitors have reported feeling watched, hearing whispers, or even seeing shadowy apparitions among the trees. Aokigahara's connection to the supernatural runs deep in Japanese folklore, where it's said demons reside in the forest. While the beauty of the woods is undeniable, its haunted atmosphere and somber history make it a chilling place few dare to explore after dark. Number 4. Exorcism of Roland Doe. The story of Roland Doe, a boy from Maryland, inspired one of the most famous horror films of all time, The Exorcist. In 1949, Roland allegedly became possessed by something otherworldly. His family sought help from Catholic priests, leading to an exorcism that remains one of the most chilling accounts of its kind. Witnesses claimed Roland displayed incredible strength, spoke languages he'd never learned, and could move objects without touching them. His mattress reportedly levitated during the rituals. While some investigators later suggested Roland may have been a troubled boy dealing with psychological issues, the events were real enough to terrify all involved. The story didn't end there. William Peter Blatty based his 1971 novel, The Exorcist, on Roland's case, which became the iconic 1973 movie. Whether you believe in possession or not, Roland's exorcism remains a haunting tale of fear, faith, and the unknown. Number 3. The Brown Lady of Raynham Hall. Raynham Hall, a grand manor in Norfolk, England, is home to one of the most famous ghost photos ever taken. In 1936, a photographer captured an eerie image of a figure descending the staircase. Known as the Brown Lady, the ghost is believed to be Lady Dorothy Townshend, who lived and tragically died in the 18th century. Lady Dorothy was the wife of the second Viscount of Raynham Hall. She reportedly died of smallpox in 1726, but whispers of her husband discovering an affair have fueled darker theories. Some say she was locked away and left to die, her spirit forever bound to the hall. Visitors and staff have reported sightings of the Brown Lady, often described as wearing a brown dress. The photo and the ghostly tales have cemented Raynham Hall's place in paranormal history. Whether fact or fiction, the legend of Lady Dorothy keeps the hall shrouded in mystery. Do you have any clue? Well, let us know. Number 2. The CCTV Ghost of Hampton Court. Hampton Court Palace, with its long and turbulent history, is no stranger to ghostly encounters. In 2003, a security camera captured something truly spine-chilling. A skeletal figure in period clothing closing a heavy fire door that had mysteriously flung open. The ghost, nicknamed Skeletor, caused a media frenzy. Visitors to the palace on the same day reported seeing strange figures, adding to the story's credibility. But Skeletor isn't the only spirit haunting Hampton Court. Catherine Howard, one of Henry VIII's ill-fated wives, is said to have roamed the Screaming Gallery, where she was dragged, pleading for her life after being accused of treason. Hampton Court remains a favorite for ghost hunters, with its dark history and countless chilling tales. Whether it's Skeletor or Catherine's cries echoing through the halls, the palace is a reminder that some parts of history refuse to stay buried. It is creepy without a doubt, isn't it? Number 1. The Amityville Haunting. The Amityville house in New York isn't just infamous, it's a legend. In 1974, Ronald DeFeo Jr. murdered his entire family inside the home. The gruesome crime shocked the nation, especially since there were no signs of struggle or noise, despite the gunshots. A year later, the Lutz family moved in, and their experiences became the stuff of nightmares. Voices echoed through the halls, furniture moved on its own, and swarms of flies appeared out of nowhere. Their young daughter even spoke of befriending a red-eyed pig named Jody. Paranormal investigators, Ed and Lorraine Warren, were called in and claimed to encounter dark forces in the house, with Ed reportedly pushed by an unseen entity. The Amityville Haunting inspired books, movies, and endless debates about whether it was real or fabricated. While recent owners claim the house isn't haunted, its chilling reputation endures, cementing its place in paranormal lore. Hope you have enjoyed this video. If you did, well, like, share, and subscribe for more breathtaking content like this. Thanks for tuning in, and we'll see you in the next one. Until next time, stay away from ghosts.